Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Co-Train, good to see you. Tommy, hello. I don't know why I thought I seen Don Miku in the chat for some reason, but it was Co-Train's comment. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, I went to bed so early last night that I woke up and it was 9:30. It was like 9:23. It took me a minute to realize like what's going on here. I was confused. I couldn't even remember what time I fucking fell asleep. I think I went to bed at like 6 o'clock or something, 6:30 maybe. Slept for a few hours. So then I got up and I worked until like midnight. And then I slept until 4:30. And then I got up and worked a little bit more. Actually, all the way up until now. And then I got to go out and sell today at the Rockridge Country Market. So that's what I'm up to. Co-Train, not a whole lot. Just chilling. Hope you're doing good as well. You probably have the weekends off, right? You're just a normal working guy, like the rest of the world, right? What is this? Odd time for the X? Yep. I'm, my sleep schedule gets so jacked up, it kind of just works itself around the clock until it gets back to normal. So I get my sleep in somehow, but it's all broken up. I've been making just nothing but hot cocoa bombs the last 2 days, and that's what I made last week too. But this week, the last 2 days, I cranked it up because now I'm back in my groove. I know exactly what I'm doing again, got the rhythm down. And so I cranked out, how many packs did I make? 24 in there. Like 28 4-packs. So whatever 28 times 4 is, 56, 112 cocoa bombs. It's time consuming. ALV, there's a strawberry shortage. I didn't even look at strawberries today. I'm like, fuck it. Because the place I'm going today, I don't really sell that many strawberries at this country market, so I'm not even worried about it. Now tomorrow, I'll probably go look tonight because I'm going out tomorrow. I'll be inside tomorrow. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just the time of year. I better if I can get my strawberries back in order, though. Getting over a stomach virus, you need ivermectin. If you have any type of parasites, you should be taking ivermectin at least once every few months. Make sure you don't get any Chinese stuff. Get it from the Tractor Supply store, or there's one company, I can't remember the name of it. Just make sure you get it from the United States. Just like 70% of ivermectin's made in China. I hope you get better. Well, since you're just a regular construction worker, Co-Train, I got a video for you. I, too, was a construction worker for a long time. This guy, what's his name? Ethan Ewing. He returns to his construction job just days after his upset win at UFC 322 last weekend. He was called up just 2 days before the UFC 322 after Cody Hayden had to back out due to an injury. And so he went up and scored a victory, and then it just shows him coming back to work, and it's back to work as usual after he was just fighting in the UFC.
Fuck yeah, Ethan!
All right. All eyes on me. Back to the safety stuff. What's up, everybody?
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Ethan, the Professor.
So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, you don't even have any time to really get fight ready. You know, he's working construction, and then you just jump into the ring, and you know, he won by decision, but still thought that was pretty cool. It's a virus, not a parasite. You don't know what it is, ALV. You're not a doctor. So I reject your reality and replace it with my own. And I say it is a parasite. I say not only that, you have multiple parasites, you know, as most people do. If you eat any type of pork products, or there's a host of other things that carry parasites, that more than likely you do have parasites. So, will Thindu be fighting in the, yeah, Thindu's next. So, but yeah, no, you're not a doctor, ALV. So you don't know what it is unless you went to a doctor. And then if he prescribed you any medication, he lied to you because he's just trying to make money off of you with the prescriptions that he prescribed to you, because that's how he makes his money. So construction strong is different than gym strong. Yeah, 100%. There's not a lot of cardio involved in construction, right? So, and he wins by decision. So that means he won all 3 rounds. That's 15 minutes of hell. You know what I mean? That's a long time. Neither are you neither are you a doctor, so stop it. Fair enough. It's a good point. All right, what else do we got here? So, Michelle Obama and Stephen Colbert.
So I wanted to take advantage of the fact that as the first lady, yes, you can be smart and educated and beautiful and sexy and interesting and all those things. And yes, you can be a black woman, a tall 5'11" black woman. Did you see the shoulder? You missed that. Did you see that?
Sure, I'm just.
So I wanted to.
You know what else you could be responsible for? For the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrating the United States of America, all up in the politics and taking over Dearborn, Michigan. You could be responsible for that, Barack Hussein Obama. How does your middle name, the last name, is a guy that we hung? Remember, you guys remember that one guy? What was his name? Saddam Hussein, Saddam, as George Herbert Walker Bush used to call him. Saddam Hussein, Saddam. We got to get Saddam. Wouldn't be prudent. Weapons of mass destruction. That's my George Bush impression. So allegedly, we elected Barack Hussein Obama. I mean, so what do we expect? Saddam. Yep. Saddam Hussein. Remember when George Bush put that crack up on the screen? He was like, here, motherfuckers, you think you guys are drug dealers? Let's see. George H.W. Bush holding crack. See if they have the video on here. This motherfucker was not playing around. No, it's not on there. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. She is hard to watch. But, I mean, look how expensive the doctors are. Obamacare was going to be so great, right? Remember, Joe Biden said, it's a big fucking deal. This is a big fucking deal. He said that on the hot mic to Obama. Yeah, it's a big deal for you guys. We stole so much of his money. We elected that disaster, but we are a racist nation. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how did that work out for Black America? How are they doing because of Barack Obama? In fact, he's from Chicago. Let's look and see how Chicago's doing, shall we? I actually have a video. Where is Chicago? Chicago, 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 Chicago. What the fuck is all this? Well, anyways, there was 2 shootings in Chicago. And they were singing God, I gotta find it now. Hold on. Yeah, there's that one, but where's the music festival? Here we go. They were singing Mama Rock Me. Hey, Mama Rock Me. I hear that song all the time at my events. There was a better video. It was like up close. But you know, if you don't hear Hey, Mama Rock Me and gunfire at the same time very often. And of course, the mayor said it was an isolated incident. 8 people shot, 1 killed yesterday. Yeah. Well, there was 2 separate shootings. There was the one at the music festival, and then there was the one where there was on the sidewalk. So, and I'll show you the other one. These were both happened basically at the same time.
It's from Alderman Brian Hopkins, who's of course one of the downtown aldermen, and this is the alderman speaking here. So that's who we're attributing this to. He has posted a tweet or on X, 300 juveniles, he says, noting rioting in the Loop now. At least 5 victims have been shot, 1 critical with life-threatening gunshot wound to the torso. Multiple police officers attacked and injured with mace and stun guns. At least 1 police officer has been hospitalized. That's according to downtown Alderman Brian Hopkins, who has been very vocal, Rob and Cheryl and Trey, about the need to have new rules of engagement for the Chicago police in terms of.
I mean, it's just the same. You know what they do is they give us just these. They call them nothing burgers. It's just fucking bullshit over and over. Like if you look at like YouTube thumbnails from Trish Regan, she's just like one of those. I don't know if you guys follow Trish Regan. She's just works for the deep state basically. They're gonna indict, the DOJ is gonna indict Letitia James. The Adam Schiff is looking at will he go to prison? It's like always they just string you along. Perfect example there. How long they've been talking about the Chicago violence? It's just absolutely out of control. So anyway, we'll get out of that. I don't even know why I was on that. Get back to the bookmarks. All right, we got a little Alex Jones right here, but this is a guy who is going to be talking that is involved in well, he's just talking about the Army Reserve in Massachusetts. Just listen to this. Very interesting.
Paul in Boston, Army on the left infiltrating the military, and this call for insurrection. Where do you think this is going?
Hey, Alex, we have some serious issues up here in Boston. I just get out of the reserves, and it's full of NATO soldiers, and none of them are loyal to the United States of America. And obviously, this has been a slow trickle, but it's so bad up here that I wouldn't be surprised if one of these soldiers did do something to set it off. I mean, we have NCOs that have never passed PT tests. They've never done anything, and they made staff sergeant or sergeant first class, and they'll follow any orders. It's so subverted up here that this is the hot spot in the country. I know it's a leftist area, but it's just so out of control. And there's CCP everywhere. When we go up to Fort Devens to qualify, it's all CCP-owned property around Fort Devens. So I don't know how else to put this, but if something happens, it's going to happen up here. There's no American soldiers. All of a sudden, 4 years ago, we just had my new captain. I'm out. I finished last
So you're
month was
saying
my
they've got
last drill.
foreigners, people here like illegal aliens or police in Chicago and in
It's the same thing. All the Haitians that were there, they were there for a couple of months, and then boom, all of a sudden their name changes to like an Irish name, because there's still a lot of Irish people up here in Boston. And it's just, you can tell that they're just...
Oh, they're even sheep dipping them, giving them new identities?
Absolutely. It's been going on hardcore for 4 years. And I just, I know it's just a Pogue unit, but when we go to qualify, the last time we went to qualify, and I take a look at all these units, they're all NATO soldiers. There's no American kids, and I never gig on anybody that wasn't born in
what
America.
you're saying is, I read about Albuquerque or wherever, where illegal aliens or police. You're saying in Massachusetts,
in Boston, the reserve units in Boston, and then we, like I just said, we shoot up at Fort Devens. That's where we have to qualify twice a year, and there's Hispanics, but they're not born here. Like my new battalion lieutenant colonel, he's from Mexico, and all he wanted to talk about when he was introducing himself to the.
He goes on to say that all he wanted to talk about is when he grew up in Mexico was how poor he was. And then he says that another one of his battalion commanders wears a wig. So that's what's going on in Boston. We have our whole military fucking infiltrated. It's not just, it's everything is fucking infiltrated. And, there's videos out there. We even have that one Chinese congresswoman who's exposing the CCP for owning all that land around the military bases. And she says that, and it's a fact that if we go to war with China, or if we go to war at all, our B-2 bombers, when they take off on American soil from our Air Force base, the first land that they fly over is Chinese-owned property. So very strange. I don't get it. I don't understand, how Trump is allowing this. It's like just another sign we're being lied to. Steve Bannon has an interesting take on the Charlie Kirk trial, that there won't be one, and I kind of agree with him. Like, why would they have one?
No, because how many times have we seen ChatGPT associated with acts of violence? The kids, the teens, killing themselves, killing others.
We had a mother of a suicide victim on today.
Yes.
It was heart-rendering.
Yes, I saw parts of that. It was horrifying. And my question to these guys is, what if one of and what Shane Cashman said that was so interesting, he said, if you're sort of a normal person and you go to it, you're probably going to be fine. Yeah. But if you have a diseased mind, if you're someone who's already kind of on the verge, on the edge, on the cusp of something, then what it does, it's mirroring behavior. So it's going to mirror that psychosis back at you, because it's designed to increase engagement,
people that build
increase interaction. That's how they train it. And so the question then becomes, and my question was, did they ask this thing about Charlie Kirk?
We got to see.
And what did it say? Why we need those logs from Sam Altman. I want those logs.
I'm telling you, you're not going to have a trial. They're going to plead out the guy. You're not going to get death penalty.
No plea deals. No plea deals.
I think they will. I mean, if they're controlling this whole thing, which obviously they are, then why would they have a trial? They're going to have to, completely bullshit us the whole way. It's just a lot easier for them to just, they have the guy, plead guilty or whatever. And, do they even, their only stress then will be is like, they probably have to figure out a way to show him in court or via video. It'll probably be via video one more time. And they probably already have that on video. They probably recorded that the same time they recorded him on the steps and then at the fucking Dairy Queen. So, yeah, having the Qatari Air Base is it's like Idaho, right? Right next to me. And this is just what we know about, you know what I mean? It's worse than that because, like I said, my landlord is Chinese, and he owns, dozens of houses in Tacoma alone, and then he's in Austin. I don't know where he's at right now, like right this second, but I know he's been in Austin buying up a bunch of real estate in Austin. So, and you know, he's probably just low brow compared to some of those Chinese guys over here, you know, that are actually building like, I mean, over here, if the second they bought up all the houses already, but the second that any like land becomes available, they just build apartments and shit. It's weird. And you can tell when the Chinese build them because they build them different than Americans. They build them straight up to the fucking sidewalk and have like the parking in back where, you know, an American, you know, the apartments are in the back and then the parking's right there for most of them. It's weird. It's weird how they fucking do it. So I don't know. I don't know where this country's going.
I'm just going to say it point blank. I'm not a bandwagon person. I don't pile on when other people are doing something. But I know MTG well. She's a woman of incredible integrity, brought up poor, self-made, very successful construction company, a woman of great integrity. She announced last night that she is resigning. I predicted on the Tuesday broadcast, she didn't tell me this, but I talked to her at length. And it sounded to me like she was thrown in the towel just because she can't be part of something that's, quote, a lesser of two evils. And she's very popular in her district, wins by some of the widest margins of anyone in Congress. And we'll play her statement here in a moment. But that ties into all of this. But I'm not saying this because of what she just did. I'm going to have to reflect on this, and I'm going to have to pray about it, and I'm going to take a few weeks on it, I think, is the most important thing to do. But I'm not a person that is normally conflicted. I think I have a lot of knowledge, a lot of depth, a lot of sources, a lot of context. And when I do get conflicted on something, I just have to go to God with it and pray about it a lot. And then go to that place that King David talked about, the quiet place, the Most High. And then I'm going to make my decision. And I mean, if God tells me tonight, I'll make my decision. But I am seriously inches away from not supporting Trump anymore. Because I am not going to watch him commit political suicide.
And he goes on in depth. So, and I just, you know, I just agree. Everybody wants to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you know, she's not one of those people that steals tax money, and she has a very successful construction company to run and a family. And if she can't get done what she wanted, set out to get done, and now all of a sudden she's just straight up getting attacked like that, why would she even stay? I don't understand why people even have an issue with that. You know, somebody else can go try and see if they can do a better job. You know what I mean? It's like, I have no issue with her bailing when she did. I think it's, you know, I totally agree. Like, what is she supposed to, she can't get nothing accomplished when the president is doing that to her and saying she's a fucking traitor, and Marjorie Traitor Brown. He's such a fucking asshole sometimes. So it is what it is. Let's move on. You guys be the judge of this. This is a Texas high school football game. I believe this is the first drive of the game, and the team ended up winning by 3 points. You be the judge.
The quarterback is going to fake. He's got a good arm, and he's going to go over the top on the very first play. He's got a man open, and that is going to be incomplete. It appeared Brogan Dempsey had a chance, but it gets knocked down. Nobody's saying anything. I thought he dropped it. And they're saying touchdown, that he grabbed it on the deflection. Here we see the replay. Brogan beats it, and it hits the floor. What? It hits the floor, and it is picked.
When we come up, first play of the day, and there is Post Coffin. He is irate, and for good reason.
One more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at it.
Great job by the defender knocking the ball loose off his foot. Clearly hits the floor. Guy's
what is he doing?
Right there.
It looked like he was trying to blow the whistle. Maybe
He's
I'm
wearing
not.
glasses, but I don't think it's the right prescription.
Wow, that's one
That
where
is absolutely. Well,
I'm not a football guy, so I don't know. You guys make the call on that. Looked like an incomplete pass to me. I mean, doesn't somebody have to like demonstrate possession? The other guy, the defender, would have had to have possession of the ball. Either that or it couldn't have touched the ground. But it didn't just touch the ground twice. It did a bounce right in front of the ref, like right in front of his face. So I don't understand. The only way that could have been is if, like I said, if the defender had caught the ball and had it long enough to where he, demonstrated possession and then fumbles it. That's clearly just, I don't know if they bet on high school football or the sheriff's son is the quarterback or what. But that was just, I don't know. So the other day, right in front of my house, in front of the donut shop, some fucking zombie-looking dude. It's not from some black dude. Obviously not from. He looks like maybe he's like from Jamaica or Haiti or something like that. Is shaking when they pull him out of the truck. He was doing fucking 100 miles an hour, and somehow flips his truck over. Nobody else is involved in this accident, and winds up upside down in the fucking bushes, right by the donut shop. And what pissed me off is where the guy was upside down is my daughter and my granddaughter have parked there before to meet me, to pick me up to like go to dinner or something like that. And it's just fucking, I'm sick. They don't never pull anybody over on that road. So I said something because the police were there and the fire chief guy was there, that has his own fucking vehicle and shit, dressed differently. I said, hey, that wouldn't have happened like that. And it always happens if you guys would do a better job of policing this road. And he goes, accidents happen, man. Like a fucking arrogant fucking prick. And I go, it ain't no accident. I said, these so-called accidents are because they're doing 100 miles an hour and no one does anything about it. I said, it's a horrible, what did I say? It's a horrible failure of leadership is what I told him. And you know what's crazy? Is there was a regular firefighter that was standing in the middle of the road, like blocking traffic. He started nodding his head in agreement with me because the fire chief had his back turned to him. He agreed with every word I said. I wanted to say, after I thought about it, I should have pointed at that firefighter and said, that guy's the guy that should be wearing your uniform. He should be the police chief. You're not qualified to do your job. You're a horrible example. I should have fucking went off on the motherfucker. Fucking pissed me off. Someone, and you can't say someone's going to get hurt. People get hurt all the time. There was this, when I first moved in here, a 17-year-old kid was going, I think there was two of them, but one of them died. They were doing 100 miles an hour, lose control, hit like 5 garbage cans and run into a street lamp and kills himself. And then they put out a huge Mexican fucking shrine of all the fucking, the big tall candles and shit with fucking Saint Santa Maria and all those, obviously a Mexican boy. I swear to God, like a few weeks later, another accident in the same spot. And this isn't like a corner or anything. This is just like a straight fucking road. Same spot, another accident. Maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know. Fucking took the whole shrine out. I seen a pregnant lady get hit in this intersection where the donut shop is. It's just out of control. Well, anyway, this is what happens. This is, let's just watch this.
Someone should tell the police to block that turn lane. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You hit the cop car. Ooh, fuck. He just hit the cop car. And they're rolling code 3. Dude, that is fucking crazy. Pardon my language. They're gonna get his ass.
So does anybody think that it's an American that hit a police car and then kept going? I mean, you got to be a complete fucking idiot to not see that. Of course he's seen it. But those illegal people are trained to whatever they got to do. You know, he was probably on the phone talking to the guy that tells him what to do. You know what I mean? And stashing their little fucking kidnapped kid that they have back there. Who fucking knows what's going on? You know, but no American truck driver is going to hit a cop car on a left-hand turn and not stop. That's just a fact. Not unless it's somebody like running from the cops, which that guy clearly was not. So, it's just 100%, what those guys get. If you're not going to police the roads and you're not going to pull over, if you're going to fight against Trump and you're not going to pull over illegal truck drivers and shit, even though they're out there killing Americans on the road. Good morning, Troc. What's up? Then that's what you guys get. Your vehicles are going to get hit too. You're not immune to the fucking stupidity and the fucking uncaringness of these illegal immigrants who could give a shit about our laws. You know what I mean? They'll just play fucking stupid. They don't speak English, so they can just fucking play dumb. It is what it is. And they're semi-protected by the people that are, putting them there. FBI Director Dan Bongino delivers a bombshell warning to corrupt politicians. This is what I'm talking about. The nothing burgers. If you are a corrupt politician, we're going to find you. I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. I didn't come here for money. We're coming for you. And this was a while ago that this interview played, but
well, there's always a way to determine that. I don't want to comment on that specific case right now for a reason. I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice on that. But I want to say this, the FBI obviously has the public corruption portfolio. And yes, if you are a corrupt politician out there, if you are engaged in behavior, you know what you're doing, we're going to find you. I promise. No one is going to get off. The days of selecting and putting your partisan bias.
Golly, I'm muted again. Damn it. What's up, Troc? Yeah, well, it sounds far-fetched, Co-Train, about the kidnapped kid. But, I was just seeing that thing by that guy, Ryan, whatever his name is, and 400 and something thousand kids were brought into this country. 350,000 of them are still missing. And this is during the Biden administration. But Pam Bondi is blocking the investigation to finding these kids. that doesn't even make sense that there's 300, like where did these kids, it doesn't. And then this guy the Ryan guy, where he did documentaries on it, he's saying that there were reports that these kids were sexually assaulted at these facilities by the employees and supervisors even. And then after that, they were just dropped off to people around the country who said that they were their parents, that these NGOs, were set up to traffic kids. I mean, 350, isn't that like one seat in every stadium in the country? 350,000. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that. And something very sinister is going on that we're just not, to me, I started thinking about that this morning. Like, I think that's the biggest story, bigger than Charlie Kirk, that it's just so important, but it's so suppressed. Like, that makes no sense to me. I mean, if that were true, and those kids were in America, we would know. I think we would know. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. And I don't know if I bookmarked that guy or not, but I don't know if you've seen our thing yesterday, Coach Rain, but or if you've seen Candace's tweet where she really, she put out that tweet where she got a call from a high-level French government official, I think, who's in the government, the intelligence agency in France, and told her that the president and first lady paid for her assassination. And they're the ones that assassinated Charlie Kirk. I don't know if you've seen that long tweet. And, of course, people are attacking her. Oh, you did see it. Okay, cool. So, this was before the tweet, but we got Mikey McCoy and then a couple other people from Turning Point USA. This is what it looks like when, first of all, nobody watches this show. They call it the Charlie Kirk Show, which is just so fucking weird, man. They're just taking it, members.charliekirk.com. They just took over his name. They killed him and took over his name. And this is what it sounds like when people what are they even fucking talking about? They're just trying to make I don't know, man. It's so weird to listen to these guys.
Great question from Rain. It's kind of largely about the conspiracy theories and I think, Blake, you said it well. It's like we have to give space for people to grieve. There is a trial coming up. We understand that sometimes when we don't speak on every topic, it creates a bit of a vacuum. And there is, just so you know, there's a reason for some of the silence on certain things and the choosing not to engage in certain things. But I loved Rain's heart, and you could tell that she is grieved just by Charlie not being with us and the anchor that Charlie was in her life, but also the fact that she wants to carry his mission forward, and she wants everybody to be unified and on the same page. So, Mikey, I don't know if you want to add anything.
So, Mikey cranks his neck because he knows he's got to put on a fucking show. And I don't know if you guys know who Mikey McCoy is. I know Coach Rain does, but Pastor Rob McCoy's son, America's pastor, the greatest pastor of all time. He's going to try to explain the obvious lie that his dad told. And it's just so fucking weird, man.
Anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, you said it. If there's silence on something, oftentimes people say it's silent because it's true. No, that's not why. Like, there's so many accusations out there against so many people. Even one of them are like a sermon that my dad gave where he said that I had blood on me. And for the record, like, he gave that sermon. I called my dad moments after everything happened, and I was screaming. I was listening to that call, and Blake was next to me. I was screaming on the phone. I said Charlie was shot in the neck, and he had blood all over him.
He said,
and I
think he said there was a lot of blood.
And I said, you need to call every pastor and pray for a miracle. And he thought for some reason that I said I had blood on me. So he gives a sermon. And
it's crazy how that guy on the other end, he also has to reaffirm real quick and jump in front of Mikey, because when you're telling a lie, like Candace said about watching Judge Judy, you have to have a good memory. And so there's a chance for error right there in Mikey's delivery. So that's why that dude is making sure that they're not going to get caught in a lie. That's why he's so nervous. Like, just, and if there was nothing to hide, they would just let him talk. And, Mikey's only 24 years old, apparently, this guy. It's just, fuck, man. These guys are just so weird.
72 hours later, where he addresses that conspiracy.
Yeah, and he says that
I had blood on me. Okay. I didn't see that sermon. And then about a month later, that was like trending all over social media. And I called my dad and I was like, did you actually say this? And he was like, yeah, I just found out it's not true. So like behind every single one of these are a human being. For an entire month, my dad had to live with nightmares every night that his son actually did have blood all over him.
Didn't you say he got emotional when he found out?
He got emotional when I was on the phone with him, being like, "That's not true. Why did you say that?"
No, he was so glad to hear it wasn't true.
Yeah, like not everything is some grand scheme, and just because someone's not answering all of your questions when you want them to answer your questions does not mean it's.
If I want to close the loop on this, I think, but there's a lot of people are deeply affected by this.
Yeah.
And for some people, the temptation of something very emotionally upsetting is they want to, frankly, sometimes there's a temptation to lash out. And I would remember that. I would encourage you to remember.
So, I mean, I don't know if anybody wastes their time watching this show. I would love to hear from somebody that does, like what they get out of watching this. But it's funny that Mikey says that his dad went a whole month having to live with the nightmare that his son had blood all over him. What a fucking joke that is, right? I mean, you're so close to your dad that you call him seconds after. The blood is still squirting out of Charlie's neck, and he's on the phone with his dad, telling his dad, call every pastor you know and pray for Charlie. He's just been shot. As the blood's still squirting out of his neck. Right? And then we're supposed to believe that for a month, that the pastor believes that his son was like covered in blood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're so close to your dad, you call him 2 seconds after, the blood's still squirting, but then you don't talk to him for a month afterwards. Your dad's so worried about you that he doesn't talk to you for a month to check in on you. You know what I mean? It's all bullshit. It's just complete fucking horseshit. But it's just what do you do with it? It's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. But everybody just has to remember that, there was a man at University of Utah that had his neck blown apart in the middle of the day in front of the whole world. And now they're lying about it. So that's why I talk about it. The ShamWow guy, Vince Offer, has filed as a Republican to challenge 81-year-old Congressman John Carter, Republican in Texas, in the primary. And I know he did get in trouble for something. He was like some sexual assault charges or something. But I guess that's why he would make a good politician, because they all are like that. But the ShamWow guy is, and I did buy ShamWows at the fair one time. What else do we have? Marjorie Taylor Greene put out another tweet. A couple, actually. This one was about an hour ago. Says, America, you are lied to every single day to keep you distracted from the fact that our government is broken beyond repair, and the political industrial complex is the problem. And she goes on to say that Time claims sources told them I'm running for president in 2028, which means this is a complete lie. She says she is not running for president. So Tom Homan, the border czar, claims that he can't even live with his wife because of all of the death threats.
You know, you've been hearing about some liberals. California is one of those states where they want to help out the people who are left behind as you take the violent criminals off the streets. What do the families of these threatened officers and ICE agents need?
They need protection, and they need to help the federal government protect not only the agents, but their spouses. Look, Harris, I have not lived with my wife since late March because of death threats against me. And now there are reporters out there trying to find the location of my family. There are reporters trying to identify who my sons are. I mean, this has gone beyond the pale. It's insulting. And
you know what's crazy too is it's going to get to the point where your location, I mean, literally can get you killed from a drone strike. You know, we're going to get to the point where drones, micro drones are weaponized, and, you know, via your cell phone, you could be taken out. You know, not that us normal people will have to worry about that, but, and, you know, that's probably already happening, you know, on a high level, things like that. You know what I mean? I've seen a thing, and I don't know if I bookmark it. There's a thing from Walmart now called Zipline, or this huge, like, airplane-looking drone flies over your house and then zip lines down some blimp-looking thing and drops off your package. So, let's see here. And it just made me think that drones it's just going to be common.
So we are out back waiting for our Zipline delivery. We ordered some groceries to be delivered by a drone that's going to fly through the sky.
What are the groceries at? Wow. You got it?
This is crazy. We're in our backyard.
I mean, this is just a perfect example. Like, you know, you're voluntarily with your app telling the drone to drop off your groceries, but that just goes to show you that they don't need permission and they don't need to bring you groceries. They can bring you a bomb if they wanted to.
This is this size.
And here come our groceries.
Oh, it's lowering it down.
Yeah.
Why didn't land on comfort?
Seriously? So what do you think?
That's cool.
No, it ain't cool. Go to the store yourself, you lazy fuck.
We've never door dashed, but we zipline.
Zipline your ass to the store. No need no. What? Oh my gosh. And how much does that cost? Let me get a half a gallon of milk and a box of cereal and some paper bowls and some plastic spoons. Okay, that'll be $93. So be there in 3 minutes. I mean, what are we doing? James Woods drops a truth nuke about several people were shot. Let's see what he says.
Yep. He done pulled the gun out.
Take a look now. This is actually moments after this happened. You see, look at that. The people responding to the sound of gunshots right there. People scrambling, running, ducking.
It doesn't say, but it says, this is what James Woods said. If an old white guy defends himself against a gang of hoodlums trying to rob and potentially murder him, he'll go to jail for 4 years. They'll round up these teens, then they'll all walk free, even though they've shot people with illegal guns. DEI is real. The double standard is real. It's 100% true. I totally agree. That's why I'm not going out in public to no Christmas tree lighting. This just shows a ship engine, 44 feet high, 87 feet long, and has 109,000 horsepower. I'm going to turn the music off. And, it's the Chinese that build all this stuff. I guess, we probably build a couple, maybe. I don't know if we even build any ships. Does the United States even build ships? Does anybody know? I don't think they do. I know there's like, the cruise industry. I don't know who builds those, like Royal Caribbean and Caribbean of the Seas, or what those companies who builds those ships, but that's all the bookmarks that I have for today. Just wanted to do a quick little show and keep the streak going. I'll be back on again tomorrow, possibly. I should be, but I got to get rolling because I got to get out there in a couple hours. So, Coach Train, appreciate you hanging out. Everybody for hanging out, and ALV and Tommy and Trock, and I will talk to you guys soon.